Okay, so I'm gonna spread the cards like that, and I'm gonna ask you to say stop anywhere you want. Okay, now before you do that, I'm gonna do a prediction, and the prediction is gonna be the Ace of Hearts. Just go ahead and say stop.
Stop.
Right there. Okay, now that card is the Ace of Hearts, you see. Now I'm gonna do it once again, and this time I'm gonna predict another card, which is gonna be the Nine of Clubs. Just go ahead and say stop. Right there. And this card is the Nine of Clubs, you see. And this is the Force card. Okay, the way to do this Force is by two ways, okay? One is by forcing the second card from the top, which is the first way I did it in the performance. When the spectator says stop, doesn't matter where they say stop, you just drop everything and retain the top one, okay? And that's the Force card, the Queen of Diamonds in this case. Now there are two things you need to remember. One is the angle. Make sure you bevel the cards inward, so by the first time you do the explanation, they subconsciously know they only see one card, and you have to do it straight up or in angle, okay? But in this case I did it straight up, so when you drop the cards, they cannot really tell the thickness, okay, of the cards that I drop, because you keep it straight up like that, the audience, they can see you have pretty much all the cards over here. And notice how the fingers, my four fingers, are covering the front. But before you do this Force, you need to get used to this, the spread. And it doesn't have to be, really a large spread, just with a purpose right here. Just with a purpose, to force the card. And notice the four fingers are in the front, so they don't see how many cards you have dropped. And because you retain the top one, you show the next. They can take it, but make sure they see the top of the deck, not the front, because they can see the thickness, and the fingers are covering any cards left, but they don't know how many cards you have left, because also they keep this subconscious pattern that they see this only one card. In that explanation, when I was doing this, notice my hand was covering the front, and you don't need to say anything. That's why it is called subconscious pattern, because somehow they get used to the fact that they only see one card, but you don't supposed to say or do anything about it. Just make sure they get familiar to it, because if you do the spread like that, they know they see a thickness from the side. So you bevel it, a little bit, 30 degrees, 20. They don't see, they only see like one card basically. And by doing the explanation, they can see, when they say stop, they don't really know how many cards you have left. Anyway, when you give it away, you bring this card to the top and grab an extra cards by doing this gesture, but you don't say anything about it anyway. This is also supposed to be a subconscious pattern, just in case they want to make sure you only have one card. And because you actually have one card, you drop it on top and grab a few more to do this move, this gesture. Anyway, they're supposed to be more focused on this, not on the deck. It's more on the card, because you give it away to them. Okay, and that's it. Just if you know how to do this flourish, then just make sure you keep the right angles, and by doing some shuffles, you may see what is the top card. For example, there are many ways you can give it a pick, and by doing some other moves, you can keep the top card in the second position, in this case the 8 of clubs, and you can go ahead and do the force. Okay, so you hear the spectator saying stop somewhere in the middle. As soon as you hear the first letter of any word they're supposed to say, you drop everything. You go straight up to the second card from the top, and this is it. I mean, you need to keep some angles so they don't see how many cards you have in either hand, you know. Give it away, grab some extra cards and drop them. Let me do it at regular speed. The 8 of clubs, they say stop. You notice how I say stop somewhere in the middle of the deck, but I drop everything, stop, and just give this card to the spectator. Try with this method not to spread too many, and show the front. I mean the top, not the front, because they can see the thickness. And keep both hands not like this, but in this angle, and give the card. Bring this single card down, pick a few more, some gestures to convince subconsciously the spectator, and they are more focused anyway on this card. But you never know, you know, there's some spectators, they keep looking at your hand, staring your hand, how many cards you have left, just in case you do this. That's why you're doing this. I do a couple swing cuts, but at least the first swing cut, I cut at least the half, a little bit more, doesn't matter. And then keep a pinky break right there and keep cutting. So I still have the pinky break right on the force card, and I transfer a little break. Doesn't have to be that big. Okay. The nice thing about it is it doesn't matter. You don't have to cover too much the front, but you have to be in angle. Anyway, just keep your hand a little bit tilted towards you, but at least you don't have to be too much concerned to cover the front. When they say stop, you just spread. Make sure you don't go too fast anyway. As soon as they say stop, just relax and drop everything from that break. Okay? And if they say stop after, you don't want to say stop, just drop everything and ask the spectator to be a little bit quicker next time. And you shuffle again and give it a pick to the top card. Do again the swing cuts. But if you want that specific card, as soon as you exceed or pass the force card, which is the Queen of Diamonds, you can spread the rest of them, so you can retain the break on top of the force card in case you want to force the same, and you cannot exchange any other but the same. Because some people, they don't want to say stop whenever they want, you know, obviously. But some people, they sort of have an idea, you know. So this is how it goes once again. When they say stop, you just basically relax your hand. And you have to relax it, because if you don't relax, there is no way you can keep making that pressure. And when they say stop, try to go all the way straight up to the break. It's going to be really hard. So it's going to be better if you just relax instead, like that, and drop everything from that break. And when you do this force, this second variation, make sure you are into this angle. Stop. If it is a little bit messed up, doesn't matter, because usually the audience, they believe you don't know what you're doing. Before you do this control, make sure your hand is a little bit in angle so they don't see the break. And when you start drop them, as soon as you hear the first letter, relax and drop everything under the break. Give it away so they can see it, and keep dropping the rest so they know you have some cards left. And that's the nice thing about this second variation. If you want to transfer the break, because it's not too easy for you to control or to do the spread flourish with one hand, you want to switch it. I had a thumb break, I keep it from one hand to the other, Notice how I swing the hand a little bit, so you don't see the brake. And as soon as you hear the first letter of any word, relax. Don't try to squish it harder, because it's not gonna be easier to drop from that brake. So instead, just relax and let it go. And it's gonna get easier to drop everything from that brake. Give it away, and that's it. Keep the thumb brake and keep it in angle so they don't see the brake. Let's say stop, relax, and drop everything under that brake. Give it away and keep dropping. And that's it.